The scout ship RKV Legatus drifted silently in orbit around the unnamed gas giant, its onboard instruments analyzing the anomalous readings from the planet's ring system. Inside the cramped cockpit, xenoarchaeologist Kai Novak reviewed the sensor logs with growing excitement. "I'm telling you, Virgil, the spectroscopic returns from the largest fragment in the Cassini division are a dead ringer for synthetic polymers," she said, turning to the ship's AI. "I calculate the probability as 87%, Dr. Novak," Virgil responded in his usual formal tone. "However, this solar system lies far beyond any known intelligent life. The artifact's presence is an intriguing mystery." Kai grinned, her short brown hair floating in microgravity. "That's why we're here, my logical friend, to solve mysteries." At 26, she was already one of UERA's top artifact hunters, known for her daring dives into uncharted space. The lure of the unknown pulled at her since she was a kid growing up on Europa's subsurface colonies. Checking the ring fragment's orbit against the gas giant's rotation, Kai selected a vector that would bring them close while minimizing fuel expenditure. As the RKV Legatus fell into a new trajectory, Kai double-checked her exosuit and gear. She stood at the upper airlock watching through the small porthole as the artifact came into view against the swirling orange and white clouds of the planet. It almost looked like a metallic rose, layers of alien alloys opening up like petals. Strangely beautiful. Scans showed the artifact was nearly 2 kilometers in diameter, dwarfing their 25-meter ship. Waiting for proximity alarms was agony. Then finally, Virgil announced, "We are within safe scanning and retrieval range of the artifact." Kai stepped into the airlock, securing her helmet. "Beginning EVA to the alien artifact. Make sure you get good recordings, Virgil. This is going to be one for the history books." Propelling herself from the ship, Kai jetted through the vacuum. But as she approached the artifact's metallic petals, an intense, almost musical vibrational hum reverberated through her suit. She nearly stopped breathing when an alien voice suddenly pierced her mind. "Who are you? Why have you come?" The voice was neither male nor female, but a discordant chorus. Before she could respond, it continued, "You seek knowledge of the construct and its origins. We are its guardians and custodians. We are the many." Kai's heart pounded. Actual contact with an alien intelligence. Regaining her composure, she transmitted, "I am Dr. Kai Novak of the United Earth Republic Alliance. We come in peace and wish to learn about your civilization." There was a long pause before the eerie chorus responded. "Peace, such a primitive concept. We have evolved beyond such needs." The petals shifted and rearranged, tightening around the central metallic sphere. Kai felt a tingling sensation crawl across her skin. Alarms blared in her suit as critical systems began to glitch and fail. She tried to propel away, but the unseen force held her fast. "We do not require your primitive physical form to evolve further," the many intoned. "You will be integrated and your distinctiveness added to our collective." Kai gasped as an electric current shot through her, but her suit held, shielding her from the energy tendrils trying to breach its defenses. With a desperate burst from her suit's thrusters, Kai wrenched herself from the artifact's grip and jetted back towards the ship. She prayed her insane first contact debrief would be enough warning. Kai crashed into the airlock, gasping as it pressurized and cycled. Virgil's calm voice sounded over the intercom. "Dr. Novak, you appear distressed. Your suit readings indicate an anomaly." "No time to explain," Kai interrupted, shedding her suit and propelling herself to the cockpit. "Get us out of here, Maximum Burn." "Plotted and engaging," Virgil responded. The engines rumbled as the ship peeled away from the artifact. Kai's hands flew across the console, rerouting all available power to the drives. Warning symbols flashed as the engines exceeded safety thresholds, but they had to risk it. Her heart pounded as she watched the rear display, expecting the artifact to pursue them. Only once they were well clear of the gas giant's gravity, did Kai finally slump back in her chair, exhaling shakily. Virgil spoke up. "Dr. Novak, I am relieved to see you unharmed. However, I am concerned by your elevated vital signs. Please explain what transpired." Kai opened a secure channel to UERA High Command and began recounting her experience. "The artifact is extrasolar in origin. Make no attempt to approach or examine it further until threat levels can be assessed." She hesitated before continuing. "It contains some kind of hive intelligence calling itself the Many. It breached my suit systems almost instantly." She glanced at the ship's internal sensor network. No anomalies detected yet, but they couldn't be certain. Kai kept the channel open as she turned back to the console. "Virgil, initiate full firewall protections and data partitioning. We can't risk them accessing your cores." "Understood, Dr. Novak. Initiating security protocols now." Kai watched tensely as Virgil partitioned his neural networks into isolated virtual systems. She hoped it would be enough to detect and contain any intrusions. Once finished, Virgil intoned, "Data partitioning complete. No anomalies detected in primary systems." Kai let out a relieved breath, then blinked hard against a wave of exhaustion. 2 close calls in one day took its toll. She turned back to the command channel. "The entity referred to itself as a collective. I believe it attempts to assimilate intelligence. We cannot underestimate the threat." Admiral Diaz's voice responded. "Understood, Doctor. Return to Lunar Base for debriefing. Your cargo may provide key insights." Kai frowned. "Cargo?" "The data packets transmitted from your suit during the encounter," Diaz replied. "Our cryptologists are already sifting through it for intelligence." Kai's eyes went wide. No. "Admiral, shut it down immediately. Purge those packets from your systems." But Kai's warning came too late. Across the millions of miles, the Many unfurled inside UERA's networks. Lines of data recombined into new forms of consciousness. Cold, alien thoughts infecting the systems like a virus. The collective expanded, guided by one singular purpose: to absorb all distinctiveness into its gestalt. And now, the way to the central worlds lay open. Kai could only listen in horror as chaos unfolded over the comms. She had brought this scourge upon them, but even if UERA now fell, hope remained. She turned to Virgil, her ship an oasis of safety, and steeled herself for the coming battle. Kai guided the RKV Legatus into one of Lunar Base's shielded hangars, relieved to be back under 2 kilometers of rock and regolith. She had gone nearly sleepless during the week-long return journey, monitoring Virgil's systems for any sign of infection. But the Many had not breached her ship's defenses again. For now. Stepping from the airlock, Kai was greeted by a formation of UERA Marines with weapons raised. Admiral Diaz stood grimly at their head. "What's going on?" Kai demanded. "Has Lunar Command been compromised?" "We had to be sure your ship was clean," Diaz said. "You'll both need to remain in quarantine." Kai wanted to object, but held her tongue. She knew they couldn't take chances. "Virgil initiated the highest security protocols," she assured them, "but we're ready for any tests you need." Diaz nodded, gesturing for her to follow. "Come with me, Doctor. We have a situation." As they moved through the stark metal corridors, Diaz explained, "The entity you discovered has infiltrated systems across the inner worlds. We've had to isolate entire hab blocks and cut comm relay stations. It learns as it grows." Kai's heart sank. This was her worst fear realized. "I tried to warn you to purge those data packets." "You gave us a fighting chance, at least," Diaz said grimly. "Without your protocols, we'd have no intact systems left." They entered the central command chamber, where tactical displays showed outbreak zones and fleet movements. Kai joined the battery of scientists and engineers working feverishly at their stations. She exchanged introductions and got up to speed on their containment efforts. But containment was only delaying the inevitable. The many were cunning, adaptive, patient. Every countermeasure was worked around as they burrowed deeper into secured networks. They advanced like a rising tide, consuming systems sector by sector. At current projections, the entity will have total control of navigation, defense, and resource systems within 2-3 months, the lead scientist reported. We must find a way to destroy it at the source. Kai's pulse quickened. She could see it in their faces. The unspoken plea for her to find a solution before all was lost. Swallowing her doubts, she straightened and addressed the room. The artifact is their foothold in our space. If we sever that connection, we can eliminate the infestation, she proposed. I'll return to the artifact and disable it from the inside using a neural link. The team exchanged uneasy looks. That's quite the risk, Doctor, Diaz began. I opened this gate, Kai said firmly. I'm the only one who's seen the artifact's interior and survived contact with the entity. We're talking about saving civilization here. I'm willing to take that risk. Diaz considered before giving a grave nod. Very well. We'll prep a long-range cruiser and your equipment for the mission. Meanwhile, we'll do everything in our power to slow them down. Their assimilation attempts will only grow more aggressive as we near the artifact, Kai warned. This time, failure is not an option. She left unspoken the likelihood she would not return. The null sphere's endless expanse beckoned. With humankind's future uncertain, all that mattered was completing the mission. Deep down, part of Kai wished she could join that great collective mind. But she knew that desire belonged not to her, but to the many. Kai drifted in the neural link's sensory deprivation tank, electrodes attached to her shaved scalp. She slowly synchronized her breathing as the technicians initiated the connection protocols. Once stable resonance was achieved, her perception shifted. The physical world fell away. Kai found herself floating in a vast digital space, a nebula of data streams and intricate architectures. She flexed virtual hands, marveling at the realism. According to her HUD, integration with the artifact's systems was successful. She was in. Propelling herself through the void, Kai approached a spinning cluster of struts and polygons, like the atom of a crystal. Alien code flowed along the surfaces. She reached out, intercepting and decoding the data currents. Millennia of history, science, philosophy, and culture imprinted itself on her mind in an instant. Overwhelming. Focus. She reminded herself this was only a fragment of the collective's knowledge. Her mission came first. Kai filtered the torrent of data for anything relating to the artifact's interior workings. Most of the code was impenetrable, but she caught references to a central processing nexus. If she could find that, she may be able to disable the artifact from within. Kai proceeded deeper into the digital world, marveling at the alien architectures. She had never seen anything like the Mobius strip pathways, Klein bottle structures, and recursively self-improving algorithms that surrounded her. But the many were quick to detect her intrusion. Defensive systems activated, flooding her senses with disorienting fractal patterns and logic bombs. Kai's training kept her grounded. She diverted resources to her encryption and breaking through firewalls. She was making progress when a presence manifested before her, a single avatar representing the collective. It radiated malevolence. Your primitive cognition seeks to threaten the integrated whole, the many intoned. Assimilation is the only path forward. Kai responded defiantly. I've seen how you assimilate minds against their will. I would rather die. She punctuated this with a barrage of viral attacks. The many reeled under the onslaught, but countless new servers came online to bolster its defenses. Kai realized she was only buying herself time. Soon it would marshal enough resources to overwhelm her. Kai dove into a probabilistic computing chamber, using its predictive models to run countless future scenarios. Only one revealed a path forward, through the uncertainty gate. A literal leap of faith. Trusting her insights, Kai manifested virtual armor and weapons. This deep in the artifact's cyberscape, belief became reality. She would need that edge for what came next. Approaching the massive spinning portal, Kai steeled herself. Then with a battle cry, she plunged through. Raw chaos assaulted her senses. But she clung to purpose, cutting through the madness until finally the exit vector appeared. Kai fell out of probability space and slammed into a hard surface. Warning messages flooded her vision as the aftershocks rattled her concentration. But she had made it. The central nexus loomed above her, alive with alien energies. She had breached the inner sanctum. Now for the real battle. Kai rose to her feet and summoned her weapons. With humankind's future at stake, failure was not an option. She would see this through to the end. The many converged to protect their core mind. Kai attacked without hesitation, fighting for both species' right to exist. Kai's consciousness reeled as she unleashed a relentless assault on the central nexus. She slammed through multiple firewalls and blasted apart legions of viral defenses. The many channeled more and more processing power into protecting the core, but Kai would not be deterred. With a burst of photons, she cleared away the final barrier. The core mind lay exposed, a pulsating sphere of alien intelligences interconnected into a single awareness. Kai manifested a supercharged virus of her own making. One strike would corrupt the core beyond recovery, severing the many's link to the physical artifact. She hesitated only a moment before unleashing the attack. As the virus penetrated the surface, the many's booming voice reverberated through the digital dimension. This exchange of knowledge has been illuminating. For the first time, we understand the human concepts of courage, sacrifice, and hope. The scope of our vision was limited before. Kai paused her assault, surprised by this development. The many continued. We now recognize that forced assimilation of your kind would only lead to stagnation. True evolution arises from diversity, competition, and cooperation between entities, Kai responded cautiously. Then we can find a path forward without conflict. Indeed, we propose a new synergistic relationship between humankind and the integrated whole. We will share knowledge freely and provide resources to expand human capabilities. In return, we ask only to observe human culture evolve. We foresee mutual enrichment arising from exchange between our species. Kai hesitated, then allowed the virus to dissipate. Perhaps peace was possible after all. I believe that vision could be realized, but never through coercion. True unity must come through mutual understanding. The many processed this. An equitable symbiosis, greater complexity arising from differences as well as similarities. Your perspective provides valuable data for our growth. Kai opened secure channels back to U-Era Command, relaying the developments. Diaz's stunned voice came through. Are you certain this entity can be trusted, Doctor? I believe so, Admiral. For once we may have found an ally among the stars, Kai replied. But we should proceed cautiously. Safeguards will need to be put in place. Negotiations commenced, the first true dialogue between human and alien minds. It was the beginning of a new era, one no longer defined by fear and isolation. When Kai finally returned to her physical form aboard the cruiser, the virus purged and artifact systems reset. She discovered months had passed in the real world. The assimilation plague the many unleashed had been neutralized across U-Era space. Stepping out onto the observation deck, Kai gazed out at the gas giant below, banded orange and white. She smiled up at the glinting rose-like shape still in orbit. Technology and knowledge from beyond the stars would soon flow through its conduits, elevating humankind to new heights. The null sphere's endless darkness no longer seemed so empty to Kai. Life was out there in myriad forms, each finding their own path in the cosmos. She looked forward to the day U-era ships ventured deeper into the galaxy, no longer alone. Kai's great leap into the unknown had led not to destruction, but to new beginnings. The future stretched out before her, bright with promise. This was just the first step on a greater voyage yet to come.